This is one of the most regressive bills I've ever seen. It benefits the rich and it hurts the poor. My colleagues and I took a look at every major budget bill that Congress has passed in the last 40 years, and there's really almost nothing that looks like this bill. The Republicans' giant tax and policy bill cuts taxes a lot, and that is where it's spending money, but then it cuts programs, and that's how it's saving money. But the bill is not going to impact everyone the same way. The Congressional Budget Office looked in a very detailed way at all of the provisions in the version of this bill that passed the House last month, and they've tried to figure out who are they going to affect and by how much. Let's start with Americans in that bottom 10% of household income. Those are the people who are going to experience the most cuts from this bill. The bill is going to reduce federal spending on SNAP. That's the program that provides food benefits to low-income Americans. It is going to substantially reduce spending on Medicaid. And a lot of people in this lowest category don't actually have enough income that they pay income taxes. And so the tax cut actually doesn't benefit them very much at all. Now let's look at middle income and higher income households. They are largely going to benefit from this bill, and that's mostly because of the extension of tax cuts that were first passed in 2017. There is a ban on taxes on certain types of tipped income. There also is a no tax on overtime provision, but those new tax cuts for overtime income and for tipped income are going to expire in a few years, whereas the tax cuts for the top earners are going to continue. Now let's look at the top 10% of earners in the United States, because they are getting the most benefits from this bill. They are benefiting from paying lower income tax rates, which we've already talked about. They're also going to benefit from other provisions in this bill, including new changes to the estate tax and a tax cut for the owners of certain kinds of small businesses that tend to be disproportionately held by the richest Americans. Squishing together a regressive tax cut bill and a regressive cut to social safety net benefits. We haven't really seen that before. And so the shape of this distributional analysis is really much more disproportionate than any that we've seen in the past. Republicans support this bill for a couple of reasons, but I think the main one is that they think that these tax cuts are good for the economy. They think that by reducing people's tax burdens, by reducing taxes on corporations and on rich individuals, they're going to encourage them to make investments, to start businesses, to grow their businesses, and to do things that will benefit all Americans. But there isn't very strong evidence that this particular package of tax cuts is actually going to achieve that goal. What most independent experts think is that this set of tax cuts is going to increase the federal debt quite a lot without having this kind of corresponding boost in economic activity.